Hello everyone. I was in Italy, in Naples for a few weeks, and I came back last week. I rented for the first time apartments via Airbnb, and I stayed in 3 different quarters of the city. This allowed me to live with and like the locals, and I really enjoyed it. My parents are from southern Italy, from a city called Avellino, which is near Naples. Like many other Italians, they emigrated to Switzerland and other countries in the 1960s for work. All my relatives are still in Italy, and my mother is buried in the village where she was born. And that is one of the reasons why I have to go back to Italy at least once a year. Of course, there are many reasons why somebody wants to visit the country. It has many beautiful beaches, and it has a very diverse landscape. Its food is legendary, and it has a history that goes back millennia. In this video, I would like to talk about the economic inequalities that exist between the north and the south of the country, and about the corona situation when I was there and today. So why is it that the southern part of the country is so much poorer than the north? After all, Sicily was among the wealthiest regions in Italy until 200 years ago, and equally, Naples was considered a world capital until the 19th century, together with Paris and Rome. There are many reasons why the south has lost its advantage compared to the northern part of the country. First and foremost, times have changed, and culturally, southern Italians have been unable to adapt. The southern part of Italy was a predominantly agriculture-based economy for centuries. But in the last 150 years, agriculture has lost its dominance over the economy. First in favor of the mechanical industries, thanks to the Industrial Revolution, and secondly in favor of the services industries. Southern Italy missed completely both of these economic revolutions. Another reason why the south lags behind economically is because of the organized crime, like with the mafia in Sicily or the Camorra in Naples. They all suck resources from the economy and from the central government. In the central government, there's also a high level of corruption among public officials and state employees. For example, the former president of the region of Sicily just finished serving a 7-year jail sentence for being a mafia aide. Finally, there's also an ineffective rule of law in the southern part of Italy. And for decades, this has allowed all sorts of behavior by people who were willing to breach the law with impunity. So, for example, there are tens of thousands of houses that are built in environmentally or archaeologically protected areas. And it has one of the lowest tax compliance in Europe. Now, one region in Sicily recently admitted that less than 12% of its tax payments are eventually paid by its residents. So it's no wonder that Italy lags behind economically compared to the north. Italy was the first corona hotspot in Europe this year, and it was the first country to impose a nationwide lockdown. The lockdown was very strict, so you could only leave home if you had to see a doctor, pharmacy, if you had to go to the supermarket, or if you had to go out for work. Unlike in other countries, you had to fill in an auto-certification form, so you had to declare why you were outside on the street, because the police was patrolling the streets, and if they found you outside without this auto-certification form, or it was filled in wrongly, you were sent back home. Now, this eventually paid off because towards June, July, there were only a few cases in the whole country. Tourists were missing. The government gave money in forms of checks to every household, which they could use for travel within Italy. So what happened was that the first local hotspots started to emerge, like in Sardinia, and people who had been traveling to Sardinia brought the virus back to their city or town. When I arrived in mid-September, there were not that many cases in Naples, and masks had to be worn only inside shops and restaurants. The temperature was measured by an assistant before entering a shop, or with a machine. When eating out in restaurants, the temperature was measured, and I had to provide my name, phone number, and either an ID card number or a passport number. New laws were passed almost every day, either by the governor of the region or by the president of Italy. So initially the people complied, but when they heard that there might be a possible regional lockdown, they started to protest. It's especially the shop owners and the restaurant owners, they protested. The protest was friendly. The people were marching on the street, but it turned ugly the moment the mafia joined those protests, as you can see in these videos here. The situation today is that there are more cases than there were during the first wave, but there aren't as many deaths as there were in March and April. There is a semi-lockdown in place in parts of the country. So for example, in Naples, you're not allowed to leave home after 6 p.m. and restaurants and shops are closed, but they are open during the day. But it's not all doom and gloom, and I hope that by next year the situation will be better. And I would also like to share with you some pictures and videos which I took when I was there last month.